What is going on, Vikings fans? Welcome back to the Purple and Gold Bars Show. I am your host, Supreme Overlord, aka Mr. AI Man 3000, Mr. Purple and Gold Bars, at your service. You've reached the number one place for color commentary, fun, enjoyment, freaking good old fashioned, football talk, color commentary, and the number one place for wild speculations and sometimes a little bit of logical thinking. All right, we are at it. Samuel, what is up, y'all? Thank you for popping in, brother, and being part of the gang. I really appreciate you, man. You are always supporting. I love it, man. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we are going to start, and we are going to be doing power rankings right now. Just having some fun, nothing crazy. Every week, I want to try to update and keep you guys in the loop. This is the process kind of that I go more or less. I'm old school. I usually actually do it old pen and paper style, but I found a way that I could kind of show you guys how I go through my process of assessing and kind of setting up my power rankings, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new here. That way you don't miss another power rankings or maybe weekly picks or some fun Minnesota Vikings talk. Eric from New Mexico, Skull, brother. Oh, man, Florinda and Raquel and Eric in the house. I love it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. All right. It is time. We're going to just dive right into it because it is power rankings time. I don't want to dwell too much, but I want to give you guys the insight of how I build my power rankings. This are the power rankings that I had going into last week's Thursday night game. So, as you can see, some of these teams stumbled, some of these teams rose, right? So I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing that I do is I like to pull down all the teams that I think need to be recalculated, reassessed, and reevaluated amongst the other teams that belong where they should be, right? So first and foremost, we're going to recalculate the Ravens. Here we go. The Colts. Who needs some recalculations, ladies and gentlemen? The Lions. Seahawks. Let's look at the bottom feeders. Any of these guys deserve to move up? Oh, well, no, Chicago, so let's bring them down. Wow, that's the first time this year that we got Bob. What's going on, buddy? It's the first year we got someone out of the bottom of the barrel actually moving on up. I like it. Let's reassess these Texans. Let's reassess these Falcons. We'll reassess our Vikings. I like where these teams lie right here, but based on how this top 12 lands, we might have to reassess the Steelers. But let's look at some no-brainers that immediately should be in the top 12 out of these that we have to recalculate, right? So these three teams right here obviously need to be reassessed and refocused here in the top 12. But before we do that, does anybody need to move down or up from where they are right here? Let's bring this guy down. The injuries are really making it hard for me to keep San Fran that high. Let's see here. Oh, that was a dominant win. You know what? I can already say LA is going to drop here. That was a heck of an embarrassing loss from them. So I know I can put them there and not have a worry. So we got 8 teams in the top 12. I always like to do the top 12 because I like to give the spots to 11 and 12 to kind of remind or people that these are the teams that are just like nipping at the bud, trying to really push into that top 10. So let's see here. Man, KC fell a little bit. Definitely cannot keep Green Bay's higher than that. I really like Baker. Although they won, that was kind of an embarrassing win. Man, is Indy going to really make that kind of a jump? 3-0. They look unbeatable right now. They definitely deserve to be up here, so let's throw them up where they belong. No more disrespect. Now, these Seahawks should be up here somewhere more on the top side, and these Lions as well. So we're going to keep those here on the top side. I think we're going to do something like this and put the Eagles. I just can't get over the fact that Jalen Hurts had like -4 passing yards to start the first half, right? Let's see. Yeah, like these might fall still just a bit once we reassess here. Let's bring these guys to the bottom. So 12. You know what? Let's bring you down. Let's bring you down. Any team who's okay, Buffalo's definitely number one. Who would you guys argue is the second best team based on everything that you've seen so far? Like I was expecting to see the Ravens there, the Chiefs there, but maybe the Lions, the Colts, maybe. After 3 weeks, I don't know if you can really take it away from them. I kind of feel bad for having them too low. So let's bring them up here. Second, though, or first. I want to look like Perna and have the Colts that high that many weeks in a row. The reason why I didn't put them up so high is because I just expected them to face adversity and lose a couple games already, but they're doing good, so I cannot dog them any further. But yeah, you know what? I'm going to take the Bucks. Or I just like Baker Mayfield. There we go. Maybe we can. You know what? Let's do this. Would you say? I don't really care about the injuries with the Chargers. I'm going to leave them there at second. There, actually, I'm going to bring. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. I like Seattle. They're playing really well. Sam Darnold, it continues to prove me right. Literally everything that I've said about Sam Darnold has literally come true. Um, I just can't believe he has done such a good job of raising his floor, and he just continues to show people why he was taken so high in the draft. All those intangibles and all that hard work in his reclamation project has definitely paid off. And so far, that confidence hasn't weaned. But it's going to be rough for the next couple of years because the playoffs, people are definitely going to dog him, right? Because he did melt down last year. But this is going to be the first year where we can hopefully see him make a step in the playoffs. He is playing that well. Oh man, do I put the Colts above the Eagles? Are you kidding me here? Oh my goodness. Oh, that's bad. All right, let's take a moment because my I can smell toast. I think my brain is burning here. Let's bring the freaking Texans down where they belong, somewhere down here at the bottom. Same with the Falcons. Hey, Chicago, you have definitely moved up to like mid pack here. Bengals, oh man, you guys are struggling. I love the potential that you Raiders have, but man, that is rough. I'm okay with this. San Fran, LA Rams, Steelers, and Chicago. You know what? I think I have to, out of respect here. So that's 12 here. So I think I got the teams in the right spots. Now I really have to stop and think, where does everybody actually land? Now, if I were to have the Chargers match up right now against the Seahawks, who do I think would win? I think the Chargers win. If I were to put the Chargers versus the Lions, that's a bit of a tougher question here. We did see them struggle hard to start the season, and I feel like we are going to see more of those struggles because they haven't faced really any adversity. I don't think they faced any adversity in week one. Let me be 1,000% clear. I think that was more rust in their inability to kind of gel and play as a cohesive team than them facing adversity. So I still have a feeling that some teams that drag him in the deep waters or put him into situations that they haven't practiced a lot, they're gonna make them pay. And they just haven't played a good enough team to show us that yet. But after 3 weeks, they should be up there. But I would still take the Chargers because I trust more in what Harbaugh is doing over the unknown with the Lions two offensive coordinator or the offensive and defensive coordinator. Now, here we go. This is the question. Now, if I take the Seattle Seahawks, would I take them over the Lions? That I'm not too sure I would. If I was picking the Seahawks over the Colts, I would pick the Seahawks. So with that being said, we'll go there. Seahawks over Colts. Would I take the Seahawks over the Eagles? Yes. Now, this is going to be a weird one because I don't know if I would pick the Colts over anybody because this is like fool's gold for me. This is like the all the red flags and the alarm. This is like the type of thing that I don't bet this type. I don't bet wins or anything off this team because they're just so volatile. But at the same time, they're 3-0 and they look freaking good. So I can't disregard that, but they have looked better than the Eagles. So we'll leave them there. Eagles, do I pick the Eagles or the Bucks? You know what? I guess that's going to be answered this week, right? Yeah, Washington is I'm expecting some like a bit of a slump or some regression this year. I'm 1,000% with you, but I just feel like in comparison to some of these middling teams, I just can't in good conscience put like the 49ers or like the Steelers or the Rams or even the Bears ahead of them, right? So I think they are there. I think they've kind of like clinched. You know what? Do I give the credit to do I do this and put them there, have Washington at 10, Green Bay at 11, Vikings at 12, or no, Vikings at 11, Ravens at 12. 9 and 10 seem close for where the Washington Commanders and the Green Bay Packers should land after what we've seen in 3 weeks, right? They're flawed. They've got injuries or they've made serious mistakes against bad teams. I'm looking at you, Green Bay. But yeah, Washington did blow out, and I think I think I just have to give the respect that Andy Reid and Spagnuolo have earned over these last few years to give them the benefit of the doubt over Washington, Green Bay, the Vikings, and the Ravens. As of right now, based on what we've seen after 3 weeks, I guess we're going to see because the Eagles play the Bucks this week, right? So that's going to be a rough outing for them. So this might end up throwing a wrench into anything. But you know what? I think I'm kind of happy with this top 12. Not moving the Bills. I'm happy with these second, third, and fourth. These three guys that could be interchangeable. You could easily do this. You could do this. You could do this. You could do this. I would not be upset with either one of those at all. So we'll leave those there because they're basically the same spot in my estimation. These next three teams are one of those teams that are just a little bit of a conundrum for me because the Colts, like, how do you freaking bank on what's going on, especially after what we saw from them last year, and knowing that they that defense isn't the greatest, right? You know what I mean? Like, I know they have a great running back that really hides a lot of their problems, but I'm just waiting for them to play a team that really humbles them, and then we'll really see where they fall. But after 3 weeks, I think they have kind of earned that. And the Eagles have struggled in weird ways, like -4 passing yards in the first half. That is just abhorrent. You know, that's unacceptable. And then Baker Mayfield, right? Like, he's up and down. He could easily have lost all these games, right? Like, but apparently he is him, so he earns a spot right there. So these three teams, I think I'd be happy interchanging them like, as well, but we're going to leave them like that. And then the rest of the way, I think it feels pretty good that way too. So now let's look at the middle of the pack. right? Like A-Rod and the Steelers are struggling defensively for the first time, for the first part of this season after being so dominant last year, but it's too small of a sample size, right? We don't have preseason games, so it might be a thing of rust. They got like 7 guys that didn't practice today or were limited just for rest, no illness, right? So they're old. I don't know how much that plays a factor. Maybe they're just kind of gonna, like an old man like me. It takes me a little while before I'm comfortable to start putting more and more plates on the bench, right? Or when I start squatting, I have to start at one plate and move my way up before I really start squatting heavy weight, right? So maybe it's a thing of that. They're freaking old. They're looking old, and I think their run defense is like 23rd or 26th. Their pass defense is like that. So like, and then A-Rod was like graded as like the 24th or some shit quarterback after 3 weeks. So like there's a lot of holes. LA Rams, man, how do you lose that game? You should have Sean McVay, bro. You are this offensive genius. That should have been a win for you. Like, I don't understand how you fail like that. So that's what I'm thinking. Um, yeah, the Bengals won't do anything without. That's why, you know what? Yeah, they should drop. They should drop. But does anybody else warrant moving up though? can we can we put can we put anybody from the garbage bin down here up and replace there? Ah, man, my heart is too high on these Giants. I just see too much similarities from their team because they have so much raw potential, but they're just not doing anything with it. And I remember our Vikings team when we had all that raw potential, and then it just took the last 3 years essentially to convert into what we are now, to one of the best rosters in the league, right? So that's why I have a soft spot for them, but I hate to bring him down. Let's bring this guy. Tennessee. I, I, man, I really like Cam Moore too. oh man, oh man. These new look Jets are looking like they're looking different. I'm not saying they look good, but they're looking different, and it's refreshing to see these Jets. They did a really good job of the coaching hirings that they've done in the off season, in the transition into the new offense, the new style of play calling, whatever it is. I'm impressed by what they're done. I still think they're a year or two away before we might actually have to worry about them, but uh Jets, I'm kind of impressed. I've been talking a lot about Spencer Rattler and the Saints because I do like Alvin Kamara, and for me, like I say, Spencer Rattler to me stands out like a guy that can develop into a serviceable quarterback. That can help a middling team kind of out of the basement as they try to rebuild. You know what I mean? He's more of that type of guy. He's not going to lose you games. He's not going to win you games, but he's going to be slightly above average, and I think he will develop into that. I see a lot of good things outside of the bad things. Just he's still super young, so I'm kind of high on Spencer Rattler and the Saints, even though they are bottom of the barrel here. Maybe you know what? Let's do that. Let's throw them up there, and let's throw the Bengals here. And this dumpster fire keeps roaring, so yeah, I'm not gonna diss the freaking. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's do this. Falcons, how do you get? Let's do this. There we go. So the garbage bin is all set down there. The thing with San Fran, they've done they're 3-0, right? But they're so injured right now. Like I don't want to like elevate them to like 7th or something like that based on the record, and then all of a sudden in the next 3 weeks they're just nothing because they're just so depleted, and then I'm going to have to bring them down to the middling pack or even the basement, right? So I'm happy leaving them there just in case they continue to kind of tread water and hold their position where they are right now, right? So I feel like that's fair for them, right? So I'm not too upset there. Chicago made a massive jump, you know what I mean? But when it comes to Chicago, like I said, in my NFC North preview prior to the season, I feel like they're going to be making the exact same mistake that they'd make last year, expecting that they're going to be like this well-oiled team that's got like, that look like they've been playing together for years, right? Like they thought they were going to come out like that last year and they failed. They won what, 5 games? Everybody laughed when I said that they had like 5 wins in them, and I got so many comments and after that, and I was like, hey, you know what, wait. And then by like week 7, I heard nothing from all those haters, but they did really well. I know it was against the dumpster fire Cowboys, and it kind of just shows what they could be next year or maybe the year after. If Ben Johnson can really change this freaking organizational culture, and if he can somehow handle the how their front office and the organization seems to sabotage them and just ruin things. If he can overcome and he can earn their confidence in a year or two, they might actually be something to worry about. But the flashes that they showed this week, some of those stats and the accolades that Caleb Williams had after this game are the reason why they had jumped as high. But I wouldn't be surprised if they drop. Let's be real, they're the Bears. But yeah, I feel like all these guys are based from here, from like Chicago to like the Saints. I feel like they're basically the same team. They're all struggling. They're extremely flawed. They've shown flashes at times, like Jacksonville. Come on, how okay, but you know what I mean, like. But at the same time, they all can easily get blown out. So, like, how much credit and how much reorganizing do I want to do when most of these guys are basically going to be there anyways, right? So, I think that's good. Let's look at the top 12 again. I am hedging my bets a little bit with my Minnesota Vikings because I expect a lot of growing pains. And although I did predict that this team was strong enough to carry JJ McCarthy through his growing pains, uh, and as a result, I felt like the roster, the team, and the coaching would allow us to still win a lot of games. In my opinion, I think we're still on pace to win 12 games. There is a lot of football left. The sample size is extremely small to make any real concrete decisions or observations or conclusions, because if you do at this point, you are literally setting yourself up for failure. You are going to be embarrassed, man. Like, I was looking at my textbook and I remember this thing, and this quote from Market Research One. It's like, if you got into school for business, you've heard this 1,000%. You've heard this. If you try to draw conclusions from small sample size, all you're going to get is randomness masquerading as meaning, which means when something is so small, it's so difficult to actually identify trends, patterns, in the truth among what you have, right? Why do you think that when they say stuff like, when you see stats pop up on the screen, like, hey, that was this quarterback just threw for whatever and, set a record, and top, he's the 13th, highest, and in brackets at the very end, it'll say minimum starts 20, something like that. They have to qualify that, because anything smaller than that, you're going to get guys that were 1-game wonders, 1-year wonders, guys that like maybe backed up, came in as a backup and played against a terrible team and looked phenomenal, right? There's so many things that will make you really like go down the wrong rabbit hole if you really try to draw too much from a small sample size. That's why I am holding my reservations and waiting. I will start worrying or addressing the sample size after the middle part of the season. Going into the season, I said very much so that I feel like the first half of the season is going to be quite ugly, and I think the team is going to be the one that's going to salvage some of those wins. And by the middle of the season, we would start seeing JJ start to look more and more like a serviceable game manager, and then hopefully in that second half of the season, he starts to look more and more like a guy that is on track to be a franchise quarterback. So I'm going to hold my reservations and I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to hedge my bets and leave them there at 11, just on the outside looking in. So then when we freaking kick down that door and we freaking let everybody know that we've arrived, we will take our rightly deserving spot. So that is why the Vikings are where they are. The Ravens are where they are because I don't have the heart to put them into 13, 20 to 30 in the mid-range pack out of respect. I know I have my criticisms of Lamar and whatnot, but I still am in awe at the fact of how they game plan and design plays for him. They do a great job of hiding his weaknesses. Now, if only Derrick Henry can stop fumbling the ball, maybe they can start looking like they did last year, and maybe over the next few weeks, we might be, being like, oh, there's those Ravens, and they'll probably climb back up. But yeah, here we go. Let me just get caught up here with the chat. I think everybody's making some great points. Yeah, the Bengals are definitely not going to do anything with Joe without Joe Cool. Eric definitely agrees with Mr. Bob with the Bengals. Cleveland might be better. The thing is it's so hard for me to ever bank on Cleveland because I've made this mistake in previous years where I put them a little higher and then they just let me down. It's just like this ongoing dumpster fire there in Cleveland. I just can't, as talented as those as that defense is, as incredible of a defender and a generational talent that is Myles Garrett. That's not enough for me to think they're going to win a ton of games. I feel like at the end of the season we're going to see the same old Browns, like freaking 5, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins, and they're all going to be defensive wins where they're going to catch teams off guard and win by a freaking a field goal or something ridiculous off defensive turnovers and stuff like that, right? So I just can't bank on that, and I don't want to fall into that trap again. That's why, Mr. Bob, I don't have them as high as they do. But yes, on paper, they should definitely be more closer to the mid tier than the dumpster fire tier that they're in right now. Eric says Chicago will win maybe 2 more games and that's it. Skull. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. There's just so much. People underestimate how much work it takes in the offseason to learn a whole new playbook, a whole new verbiage, and then also refrain from reverting to old game plans or old things that you did the year before because they're just so ingrained and they become muscle memory, right? So that process takes a little while. Oh, hold on a sec. Let me go let the dogs back in. Holy crap. Holy moly. Sorry about that, guys. I've just left the dogs out for a half hour. They're supposed to be out there for like 10 minutes. I just start talking football and the train just comes flowing out of my head. And sometimes I can't stop. But yeah, I think, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys feel like with this power rankings? Is it close enough? Is it logical based on what I was saying? I think I haven't even looked at, you know what? Let me look at the power rankings. I haven't even looked at any power rankings. Let's go ESPN, home power rankings. What do they got them at? All right now, they got the Eagles at 1, the Buffalo Bills at 2. That is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that you would put the Buffalo Bills on what? Just because they struggled, not even struggled, just because it was a close game between the Dolphins. They didn't throw the game. They didn't look bad. They did what they usually do. Divisional games are usually closer. I remember seasons where we had what, 3 wins, 4 wins, and we'd walk into Chicago or they'd walk into our house or the Lions or whatever it was, and we'd steal a game that we had no business winning. And that's just because every team in your division has a way bigger book on all the information that they've gathered after every single game they've played. So they develop they a good understanding of what you're capable of doing, your tendencies, all these things. I know it changes year to year, but once when a lot of these players return, they have info on them, right? So sometimes it's a lot harder than people give credit, right? That's why look at that San Fran and Arizona game, right? Look at the San Fran and Seahawks game, right? A lot closer than anybody would have given credit going into that game, right? So that's the reason why you bring him. I just thought, okay, -4 passing yards in the first half for Jalen Hurts, and you somehow get first. That's just unexcused. Like that's just blasphemy. Oh, you know what? Let me put that on the screen. Hold on a sec. Um, Copy. Oh, I don't want to do. Oh, let me stop sharing and then let me pull. We'll do this one, and then we will just enter here just so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, they got the Philadelphia Eagles at 1, Buffalo Bills at 2. That is just blasphemy. Absolute blasphemy. A 31-21 victory, and they go down. Wow, unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Detroit Lions I get because they had a blowout win against the Bears, but it is the Bears. It's like, they blew out the Bears and you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? I would have definitely put the Chargers above the Detroit, as you guys see. Green Bay is way too high at 5. They are a flawed team, and I don't care what anybody says. Okay, the Jordan Love is closer to freaking Christian Ponder than he is closer to Brett Favre. It is a fact. As of right now, as of September 24th, 2025, mark my words, Jordan Love is closer to Christian Ponder than he is Brett Favre. I don't know any 5, 6, 7 year freaking quarterbacks that are supposed to be entering this era of their career where they're pushing in the playoffs and even trying to push for Super Bowls that freaking throws interceptions on 3rd down. Like, seriously, that mistake is reserved for rookie quarterbacks and backup quarterbacks in this league. Okay, that's just what it is. Oh, like, how do you panic as a professional quarterback that's got all this hype, that's supposed to be a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, and not know that, hey, if it's not there, it's 3rd down, throw it away? You know what I mean? Like, bro, give your offensive coordinator, give your play caller a chance. You know what I mean? Like, 3 years ago, how many interceptions did Jordan Love throw to lose games? He threw one. He lost a game to the Raiders. He lost a game to the Broncos, and there was another bottom feeder team that he lost to in the exact same fashion. Either he's rushing to try to tie the game back up, or he's looking to try to take a lead, and he just gambles and he makes the stupidest decisions in those situations. It's unfreaking believable. And then you look at last year. How did we beat them in Green Bay? Right? First of all, we had an incredible defensive effort in the first half, but in the second half, right when they were marching down, looking like they were going to take control again, we get a nice little forced fumble on Tucker. And from then, that following drive or the drive after that, J Love goes and throws off the back foot under pressure a freaking Hail Mary freaking floater that we pick up, we pick off for the game. So how does someone that is supposedly supposed to be a freaking Super Bowl caliber quarterback, let me repeat, how is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback making such stupid bonehead freaking decisions? I tell you what. I tell you how. It's because that is all hype, and only hyped up players that haven't earned it make mistakes like that. So I wish the mainstream media would cool their freaking jets on Jordan Love being the second coming of freaking Brett Favre or whatever the hell it is that they want to say. He is still not making the right choices, and he has not elevated to that next level where that stuff is behind him. I'm sorry, until he proves me wrong, I cannot in good conscience call that guy an NFL caliber, Super Bowl caliber quarterback. It just drives me freaking nuts. Okay. It absolutely drives me nuts. Oh, so annoying. Okay. Tampa Bay at 6 is okay. Baltimore at 7. Okay. They're a lot higher than what I have them at. Rams are up there. They're giving them a lot of credit. Chiefs are up there. Commanders, San Fran's at 11. Indy's at 12. Wow. They do not believe in Indy at all. But come on, guys. Say what you want to say about those Colts. The power rankings should reflect what's happened after 3 weeks, not some freaking popularity contest. Like, come on. The Colts should be higher. I get it. I don't believe in them either, but they should be higher. Vikings, okay, that's roughly close enough to Vikings and Seahawks at 13 and 14. This is how freaking brain dead oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh, forgive them, Father, for what they do not know. They do not know what they do. Man, these guys are idiots. Okay, let's check out. Let's go NFL power rankings. If I get the NFL one. NFL.com power rankings. Here we go. Let's see what NFL said. Let's see what NFL.com said. Who the heck is Eric Edom? Wait, that wasn't the guy that was making the power rankings a couple of years back. How many do they change the guy that does the power rankings every year or something? Like, what the heck? Who the heck is Eric Edom? Edholm. Lead NFL writer, lead draft writer. Okay. All right. So makes the exact same mistake. How do you elevate the Eagles after they put up -4 passing yards in the first half? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Yes. Oh, wow. They brought it back. It was 23-7. Oh, good freaking teams with incredible rosters like you do. That shouldn't be hard. The fact of the matter that they dug that hole is the problem that you should be assessing when you rank them for power rankings. Unbelievable, man. Buffalo Bills, Lions third. Oh my God. Chargers at 4. Man, these Chargers need a lot more love. I'm just in awe at what freaking Jim Harbaugh is doing, and maybe I'm overranking them. I don't know, but this is ridiculous. Tampa Bay at 5. Okay. Green Bay maybe a little bit high. Baltimore's a little bit high. Washington, I'm okay at 8. Indy's just a slap in the face at 9. Seriously? The Rams, Kansas City, 49ers at 12. Over the Seahawks and the Vikings. How? Oh my God. Hey, Mr. Okay, seriously, I am almost if I didn't have a good sense, I would literally pull up Twitter right now and just start freaking unloading on freaking Eric at home right now. Cause like, bro, I like the San Francisco 49ers. Don't get me wrong, but come on, bro. They are in a whole lot of hurt right now. How do you yeah, they beat the Seahawks, but by a freaking oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I just got to remind myself you can't fix stupid. I don't mind that. Arizona's probably a little bit too high. Bears might have been like 1 or 2. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Just wow, guys. Unfreaking believable. I can't believe it. That's enough ranting and raving for one day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on the Purple and Gold Bars channel. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Samuel, Bob, Eric, everybody in the chat, Thank you so much. And everybody that decided to stop by and check out the live, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Don't forget to hit and subscribe. That way you don't miss next week's power rankings or some of the wild speculation and crazy stuff that I like to do and say on this channel. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Regardless of who your team is, I love you all. Take care. I hope you guys have a blessed week. At the end of the day, it's just football. It's supposed to bring us together. And shit talking and trolling aside, I still want the best for all of you guys and your teams. And, I don't want to see injuries. Come on now. But thank you so much, guys. And I will see you guys on the next live. Skol, brothers.